Hello everyone, myself Venu, lecturer in mechanical engineering from Government Polytechnic Varangal, and dealing the subject refrigeration and air conditioning. And today's a video session or the topic on we will discuss today's topic on the basic psychrometric processes and the bypass factor and sensible heat factor. So if you observe in the last previous video session, so we have continued the psychrometric chapter, so where we have seen the starting some the basics, what is psychrometry and what are the psychrometric terms, and continuation we have seen the psychrometric chart. It's very important and very easy one. I think hope you have understood the psychrometric chart and psychrometric terms, how you are calculating uh, the properties of thermodynamic properties of air, mathematical form, and by using the chart, how you are finding out the thermodynamic properties. So we have seen we along with the problems also in the last previous video sessions. So today's session will deals regarding the, so this is the previous class discussion, like a psychrometric chart, seen some applications. We have done some problems on psychrometric chart also. So today you are able to understood after completion of this class. So regarding what are the psychrometric processes, we will see some basic processes in this today's class, and additionally we will see some important topic like bypass factors and sensible heat factors, which are shortly known as SHF. So different types of psychrometric process are there. We will see what is the first psychrometric process. So what is happening in these psychrometric processes, we will see in detail in today's video class. So moving on to the main topic, that is a psychrometric processes. So different processes are present here. So why what is the need to study these psychrometric process means, uh, so this topic we are dealing under the air conditioning. The main topic is air conditioning. So mostly we are concentrating on the human comfort, or mostly used in the industrial purposes, where it is used for certain applications, like mm, to cool the whatever the heat generating units are there, to maintain that some certain temperature in the industries, for example in like a automated machines are there to control them, programmable machines are there. So to avoid hanging of that machines or that automated machines, so this air conditioning is a prime requirement there. And also for households, or in some commercial purposes where the human comfort is essential, so there also is air conditioning is important. So under that conditions, so at a different places the requirements are different. So whatever the air availability at that place, it may be available in a different cases. So what happens there, the properties of that air will also get changes. So now in these psychrometric processes, uh, they are what we learned in this means, so whenever at that particular different places, at you're getting the different type of air there with the different temperatures and different moisture content. So in this certain process here, it should be carried out on air to vary the properties of the air. So whenever we are varying the properties of air, it means increasing the temperature, decreasing the adding the moisture content, like that. For examples, whenever we are varying all these properties of air up to the requirements of the for our comfort conditions, for our human comfort conditions, so in air conditioning processes. So if you are studying these cases, the changing of the properties of air, so different processes are carried out here. Okay, for the requirement of the air conditioning for human comfort or for industrial purposes. So these psychrometric processes are very important to study the various the studies, different uh, the things happening whenever the changes in the properties of air is taking place. Now, the following processes may be carried out on air. The one is heating of air. So what happens if the heating of air is taking place? So what are the properties are affecting? And in the similar manner, when we are cooling the air, so temperature is decreasing. What happens to the thermodynamic properties of air? Similarly, addition of the moisture content to the air. So that is nothing but humidifying the air. What happening? Similarly, we are removing the moisture content. More the moisture if it present in the air. If you remove the moisture content in the air, what happens to the properties of that air? And combination of heating and dehumidifying, heating and humidifying, cooling and dehumidifying, like that. So combination of all these processes can be seen. um, like so what we had earlier discussed. So these are the main processes. So combination, we can see the number of processes. So these are the basic process we will see in this today's video session. So coming to uh, what is the humidification process? So here it is the addition of water vapor to the air. Very simply you can add humidification. Humidity means nothing but the presence of moisture content in the air. So humidification process means just what we are doing. So to the air we're adding the water vapor, to the air. That process can be taken as a humidification process. Similarly, the dehumidification process means the removal of water vapor from the air. Dehumidification, removal of water vapor from the air. Very quite opposite to the humidification process. So try to remember these two terminology: humidification and dehumidification. Humidification means adding of moisture content to the air, or adding of water vapor to the air. Dehumidification means the removal of moisture content from the air. So during these two process, what happening to the thermodynamic properties of the air? So we will learn it elaborately in the coming uh, this discussion we will see here. So now first we learn about some basic air conditioning processes on psychrometric chart. We will see a few basic processes which we can see on the psychrometric chart also. The processes can be seen directly on the chart. So like what we have seen, like sensible heating, sensible cooling, humidification, dehumidification, or combination of all those processes. So simply we can present it on the chart. Already we have seen deal with the psychrometric chart. Just like a shoe type of structure can be seen. So on this chart, so we have learned some terminology, how to represent the dry bulb temperature and the specific humidity, and like enthalpy, WBT, DPT, dew point temperature, and like enthalpy, sensible heat factor. We will see all those things here, right? So this is the chart you can see here. So where you can see this chart. So on the x-axis, again the same we are discussing here. The dry bulb temperature is plotted on the x-axis, and on the y-ordinate you can see that there is specific humidity, so which is represented with a W. So already we see in this terminology in the last previous video session. And so this is how we are, you can see this is the shape what you are drawn, that is a psychrometric chart shape. So the process representing here you can see at the center, right? So taking the reference of one point here, if you know the two factors of like that, we can find the remaining the the properties of the air. So you are plotting a one point here, so where you are taking at a certain temperature level on DBT and a specific humidity value. Then you are locating the point at here and noting the point as O. Next we are plotting all these lines you can see here, like from O to A, O to B, O to C, O to D, next O to E, F, next you can see G H, you can see from O to G and O to H. Okay, this is here we can see some processes from like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 processes are represented here. So all these are the psychrometric processes. So we will see one by one what is from 0 to A, what is 0 to A, what is 0 to B, C, D, E, F and G and H. Okay, so we'll see one by one, and we'll see what happening if like sensible heating, sensible cooling. So during this process, how to represent that process on this psychrometric chart, and what happening to the properties of the air, so we can represent on this psychrometric chart. So we are getting that point, and we will see the remaining process, the starting of the process. First we go through that base, all these processes represented on the psychrometric chart. All these are the basic air conditioning processes, right? So from O to A, if you observe, there is a sensible heating process. O to A, this is you can see this is point O and this is point in this A. So whenever this sensible heating process, the O to A is representing in this way towards the right. So dry bulb temperature is increasing here, and specific humidity value is maintaining constant here. You can see here a straight line, horizontal line is drawn towards the y ordinate. So there is the change or increase in the dry bulb temperature only taking place. How we are telling means, from on the x-axis we are representing the dry bulb temperature, on the y-axis it is specific humidity. So when the point is changing from point O to A, there is an increase in the dry bulb temperature, whereas it is maintaining the constant specific humidity, and it means no change in the moisture is taking place. So likewise we will see all the process names here. So 0 to A is the sensible heating process, 0 to O to A, and O to B is the sensible cooling process. So hope you can understood, it is a reversal of that sensible heating. So what happening here, it is coming to the backward the line. Similarly, what is O to C? It is a humidification process. So as it is representing the specific humidity, the y ordinate, so addition of moisture to the topward, so removal of moisture to the downwards. So as we have seen, what is humidification process means, addition of water vapor to the air, or addition of moisture content to the air, that is O2C. So you can see here the arrow, the mark is, the line is going to the topwards, that is the moisture content is adding. From O to D is the dehumidification process, where you can see the removal of moisture is taking place here. So hope you have understood first these four important process: O to A sensible heating, O to B sensible cooling, O to C humidification process, O to D dehumidification process. These are the four basic air conditioning processes. So additionally, by taking the reference of these four processes, so combination of other four processes can also be generated here, or we can see four other different processes based on these four basic air conditioning processes. We'll see. Then after O to D, what is O to E? So combination of these the O to A and O to C. O to A is heating and O to C is the humidification process. So O to E can be represented as heating and humidification process. So this is how you can see here, right? O to E is this one, in this way, O to E. So how very simply we can identify here, O to A means heating, O to C means humidification process. So combination of these two processes, what happen? Heating and humidification process, that is O to E. Similarly, opposite to this, you are drawing this in this way to the downwards, slanted, inclined to the in between the B and D points. You know this O to B is cooling and O to D is dehumidification, removal of moisture. So what happen, if what we can represent for O to F, that is cooling and dehumidification process. So here you can see this is cooling and dehumidification process, that is O to F. Next, similarly other two process we'll see, that is O2G. So it is falling in between the cooling and humidification process. You can see that is O2B is cooling and O2C is humidification process. In between these two process combination you are writing it as cooling and this one, cooling and humidification process. Similarly the reversal of that O2H, how this O2A is heating, O2D is dehumidification process. So that is heating and dehumidification process, O2H. So this is additional 4 other basic air conditioning processes in addition with the basic what we are seeing, like basic sensible heating, cooling, humidification, dehumidification process. So combination other 4 you are seeing here, it is O2E, O2F, O2G and O2H. So try to remember these processes and how we are how you are writing these processes based on the basic processes what we have seen, like O2A, O2B, sensible heating, sensible cooling, humidification and dehumidification. Combination we are writing these other 4 processes. So this is regarding how you are representing the basic air conditioning processes. Okay, so let us see a few further more discussion. Already we have seen, but you try to read these statements, then you can get some more information regarding what is sensible heating. That is the process from O to A, what happening the air to the properties of the air, what is happening here. So just read it out, you can see them. What happening to the state of air, so it is changing from O to A. What happening during the changes from O to A, what happening here. So on the x-axis we are representing dBT, so the dBT value increases from O to A. For example, if you are taking at O at 25 degrees, so A at 35 degrees centigrade, the dry bulb temperature increased from 25 degrees to 35 degrees centigrade. And similarly specific humidity value, so on the y-ordinate you have to check it. So W it is representing, so there is no change in, it is a horizontal line, so it is a constant, W remains constant here. So that is regarding only the heating or increasing of the temperature is taking place, dry bulb temperature is increased, that's it. Next, what happening to the sensible cooling process. Okay, just we will see only a few basic properties here. Next we will see continuation, elaborately we will see what we will see all the factors, what how they are affecting. Just we are here we are focusing only on dry bulb temperature and specific humidity values. Now what happening from O to B, that is a sensible cooling process. The properties of the air here changes from the point state of air changes from O to B. So the temperature is decreasing, for example from point O it is 25 degrees centigrade and point B is 15 degrees centigrade. So the temperature decreased from 25 to 15 degrees centigrade. Whereas specific humidity on the y-ordinate, if you observe, it is also a horizontal straight line, so it is also a constant one. Now what happening to the dry bulb temperature, it is getting decreased, and specific humidity value W is remaining constant. So that is a sensible cooling process. Next, so during humidification process, what is happening, just you can note it down, that is a point O to C. So here you can observe the dry bulb temperature point is maintaining constant. You see on the x-axis it is a maintaining horizontal line to the dry bulb temperature. It is from the point it is maintaining the straight line to the topwards. But if you see on the y-ordinate, the point changing from point O to C. So specific humidity value is getting increased. Why? Because it is a humidification process. Moisture content is increasing from point O to C. What happening to the specific humidity, the W value get changes, and dry bulb temperature remaining constant here. Okay, so moisture content in the air is getting increased. So this is regarding the humidification process, where the moisture content in the air is increasing and the dry bulb temperature is remaining constant. If you're taking these two factors, and then the discussion is dBT is constant and moisture content is increasing here. That's regarding the humidification process. So further what happening to the remaining properties we will see elaborately in the next coming topics. And here the next we will move to the next basic air conditioning process, that is a dehumidification process. So for example, if you take from the that is O2C is the humidification, so opposite to that if you take from O2D, that is a dehumidification process. So where the state of air changes from the point O to D. So here you can observe again the same, the constant the dBT point. If you take, there is a constant line you can see from the dry bulb temperature. So it is dry bulb temperature is constant here. So whereas on the y ordinate if you observe from point O to D, so it is the specific humidity value may getting decreased. If you see the specific humidity value at the right side, the value is if you increasing towards the top. So whereas if you see the process O to D, it is the state of air is changing from O to D, from it is decreasing, the value is decreasing since the specific humidity value is getting decreased from O to D. So these are the changes taking place. Specific humidity changes, the dry bulb temperature remaining constant. Now what happened to the moisture content in the air? So the moisture content in the air is decreased, so removal of moisture is taking place in the dehumidification process. So this is regarding the fourth basic process. Okay, next the other four processes are O2E, that is the heating and humidification. So you can take the combination of what is happening in the heating and humidification. I will discuss these one point here. Since from O2E if you observe there is a change in the dry bulb temperature. So dry bulb temperature is increasing, you can see towards right, and from O2E. So this is what is happening, O2E. So there is a change in like you can observe from dBT. So from here to here the dry bulb temperature is increasing, and if you observe again from O2E, the specific humidity value is getting increased from point O to E, like this. So the value if you take from here, it is increasing up to here, the specific humidity value. So what happening here, dry bulb temperature is increasing, specific humidity is also, so addition of moisture is taking place, and heating is also taking place. So since O to F, you can take the reverse of that, cooling is taking place and dehumidification, decreasing of temperature. So dry bulb temperature is decreased and moisture content is also decreased, so that is a removal of moisture content, that is dehumidification. Similarly O2G, from here to here, so here to here means the it is a dry bulb temperature is decreasing, moisture content is increasing here. Okay, so cooling and humidification process. Similarly O2H, so from here to here, what happening here, you can observe the dry bulb temperature is increasing from this side to the towards right, and towards down you can observe from O to H, it is moisture content is removed. So it is heating and dehumidification process, O to H. So involve both changes in temperatures as well as humidity. So there is a both factors are affecting here, temperature as well as the humidity may increasing or decreasing is taking place. In some cases increase and decreasing is taking place in both the factors, that is temperature and humidity. Okay, now the psychrometric patterns for heating and cooling process. So we will see the pattern. Processes commonly used are the sensible heating, the sensible cooling, cooling with dehumidification, and cooling with adiabatic humidification, adiabatic chemical dehumidification, heating and humidification, mixing of air streams. So in this we will discuss a few of them. The first we will deal about the sensible heating. So this is the diagram you can observe regarding the sensible heating process. So this is the arrangement how the temperature of air can be increased. The sensible heating already we have seen in this chart how the point we are representing moving towards right. You can see like a horizontal line we have drawn from point 1 to 2. You can see here where the increase of dry bulb temperature is taking place. Here you can see this is 1 to 2 process, where the temperature of inlet is 1, or at the exit of the temperature of the air is 2. So you can see there is a horizontal straight line we have drawn, where the specific humidity which is equal for both the points, that is W1 equal to W2. The temperature of dry bulb is increased from TD1 to TD2. That means here entry of the air and exit of the air. So we will see what is this point 3 also. So for this we have made the psychrometric process. So the arrangement to increase the temperature of the air. So just we have taken a section, a box here, in which a heating coil is provided here, or in this box two passages are provided, where the air inlet is provided and air outlet is provided here from these two passages, entry and exit you can see here. So the air inlet has the particular temperature of some normal temperature of TD1, where the temperature of the air can be increased by making contact with this heating coil, and further the temperature changes from TD1 to TD2, the air which is coming outside through the exit. And here the heating coil in which the heating medium is passing through this heating coil has a temperature of TD3. So the surface of the heating coil temperature is TD3. So this TD3 value is greater than the TD1 and TD2. So heating coil, it may be in the coil we may send the steam or some hot water, or we directly, instead of steam, we can provide some electrical heating coil also, where that particular temperature of that heating coil is greater than the other two temperatures. So here you can observe this TD3 value, that is the surface temperature of the heating coil is more compared with the TD2 and TD1. So our aim is to get the outlet temperature TD2, which is less than the surface temperature of the heating coil, that is TD3. So our requirement is what is the TD1 and what is the TD2. The final output temperature is the TD2. So how we are representing here. So this is a diagram or the arrangement for the psychrometric process of sensible heating. So here you can see the representation of enthalpies, how the enthalpy change is taking place, H1, H2 and H3. So enthalpy is total heat value of the particular air when it is making contact, whenever it is changing its temperature, you can see the enthalpy total heat value is getting increased, whereas the specific humidity is remaining constant, W1 equal to W2. And if you see the dry bulb temperature values is more, TD1, TD2 and TD3, more the temperatures you can see here. Okay. So this is regarding sensible heating. So just we see a few points in the terms of sentences you can see, and I will get some idea. So what is the sensible heating? The process of heating of air without addition or removal of moisture. Okay, so hope you have understood that the process of heating of air, just the process of heating of air is taking place without addition or without removal of moisture content is taking place. So we are not adding any moisture or not removing any moisture, just simply we are increasing the temperature of the particular air. There is a sensible heating. So if air is passed over the heating coil, the sensible heating of air take place. So that is the thing what is happening in sensible heating. So the coil, what we have discussed, coil may be electrical resistance heating coils, or the steam passed through the coils, or hot water passed through the coils. So that is regarding the heating coil what we have discussed. The air is passing through the heating coils and the temperature exchange will take place. So the inlet temperature may be less compared with the exit temperature. Why? Because the heat is exchanging from the heating coils. You can see, but the heating coil temperature is more compared to the air which is going to the exit side, or air outside temperature is less compared to the heating coil temperature. So this process is represented on the chart by horizontal straight line 1 to 2 extending from left to right. So towards right it is moving from left to right. What happening here? The air at temperature TD1 passes over the heating coil at temperature TD3. So the initial temperature of air which is entering into the passage into the section, that is TD1, is making contact or passes over the temperature or passes over the heating coil which is having temperature TD3. Now uh, the temperature of the air leaving the heating coil, temperature of the air leaving the heating coil is TD2. Okay, as already I discussed, leaving air temperature is TD2, which is less than the TD3. TD3 is the heating coil temperature. So the point 3 represents the surface temperature of the heating coil. So as earlier discussed with all these things. Next, the heat absorbed may be obtained from the psychrometric chart by extending lines from the points onto the enthalpy scale. So what is the heat absorbed here? So here you can represent it from the enthalpy values. So you can take the difference between the two enthalpies, that is exit of the air and the inlet of the air, that 0.2 and 1. So here you can note it as H2 minus H1. Similarly, the specific humidity remains constant. So as already we have seen that it's a horizontal straight line. So on y ordinate it is representing as a point. So where for both the values 0.1 and 2, so it is specific humidity value is W1 equal to W2. Whereas if you see the dry bulb temperature values, they are increasing from TD1 to TD2. Now what happened to the relative humidity? We are seeing other two factors, that is the enthalpy value is increasing from H1 to H2, and now relative humidity, how you are representing, like starting from the 100% saturation curve, that is a 100% RH curve. If you are coming to the bottom, the value or percentage of that relative humidity is decreasing. So now what happens from 0.1 to 2, as the line moving from 1 to 2, relative humidity value decreases from phi 1 to phi 2. So value is getting decreased. So percentage of the relative humidity is also decreased. So the change is from pi 1 to pi 2. Next, so here we can see some mathematical formula regarding that. Amount of heat added during sensible heating may also be calculated. So total enthalpy value H equal to H2 minus H1. It will give how much amount of heat is added to the initial air which is entering with the given enthalpy value. So it can be written in other form in terms of temperature. So which is equal to the specific heat of that particular air medium at 1.022 into the TD2 minus TD1, dry bulb temperature at 0.2 minus dry bulb temperature at 0.1. So expressing the units are in kilojoules per kg. So specific heat can be taken as 1.022 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. So this is regarding the complete information regarding the sensible heating psychrometric process. And here you can see the sensible cooling process. So coming to sensible cooling process, here you can see the air inlet is taking place again, and the air exit you can see here. The process here it is a different case again. The cooling coil or the refrigerant which is entering through the pipe is having very low temperature, that is a cooling coil. So the air is passing over these cooling coils. The temperature heat exchange will take place, and low temperatures when compared with the TD1, the TD2 value is less, but further the low temperature is for the cooling coil surface temperature is very less compared with the TD1 and TD2 values. So here you can see on the graph on the chart that TD3 value is very less. Here you can see the dry bulb temperature of the TD3 value is less compared with the TD2. TD2 value, that is the air outlet temperature, is the TD2, which is less than the TD1 values. And how the enthalpy value is getting decreased, you can see here from H1, H2, H3, the total heat value is getting decreased. So that is a sensible cooling process, and there is no change in the humidity. It is a W1 equal to W2. No change in no addition or removal of moisture is taking place in the sensible cooling process. So here we will see a few lines regarding the sensible cooling. Cooling of air without any change in the moisture content. Just only the temperature is reduced without addition or removal of moisture is taking place. Now the specific humidity remains constant. Specific humidity remains constant here. the air is passed over the cooling coils, you can see here. And cooling coils may consist of refrigerant. So refrigerant is a cooling medium here, which is passing the low temperatures in the coil, or some cool gas or some cool water can also be used here to move in the cooling coil, where it creates low temperatures. Then the temperature can be reduced of that particular air. And so the process can be represented on the chart by horizontal straight line, that is from 1 to 2, so which is moving towards the left. From right to left it is moving. So here you can see that the process 1, so from right to left it is moving. This is 1 to 2. The air at temperature TD1 passes over the cooling coil of temperature TD3. The temperature of the air leaving the cooling coil is TD2, which is more than the TD2. So the temperature of the air leaving the cooling coil is TD2. So here, which is more than the TD1, that is a small mistake here, that is the TD1, that is air inlet temperature, which is more than the TD2 value. So TD2 outlet temperature is very less, it is a sensible cooling is happened here, and no change in the moisture content is taking place. Point 3 is the surface temperature of the cooling coil, and here the heat removal process is taking place. Further, what happens, the cooling will take place here, so that may be obtained on this enthalpy scale. So you can for this psychrometric chart you can observe here, where it is represented as the difference between the two enthalpy values, H1 minus H2 value. Further, specific humidity remains constant, that is a W1 equal to W2, and the dry bulb temperature decreases from TD1 to TD2 value. And what happened to the relative humidity, the RH value, relative humidity value increases from 5.1 to 5.2. So you can see what not the relative, it means moisture content is not increased here. Here the relative humidity, the moisture absorbing capacity can be increased here like that. But no addition of moisture is taken place, but the relative humidity value changes from, when the point changes from 1 to 2, it changes, the relative humidity percentage may increases, so that is from 5.1 to 5.2. Now the amount of heat rejected, H equal to the H1 minus H2, so which can be written like this: specific heat in terms of temperature 1.022 into TD1 minus TD2. So why? Because TD1 is the higher temperature and the TD2 is the lower temperature, so TD1 minus TD2 kilojoules per kg. So this is regarding the sensible cooling process. So further process we will discuss in the next chapters, next video sessions we will see. Next we will see regarding the other important topic, that is what is a bypass factor. Okay, so here when a stream of air passes over a coil, so total air does not come in direct contact. What happens here? So only when it is passed, if you see the previous cases, sensible heating and cooling, air is passing over the coils, but the complete air will not come with that heating or cooling coil surfaces, right? Complete volume of air, the total air does not come in direct contact with that. So some of air, what happens, it will just the bypasses, so without making contact with that heating or cooling coils. So the temperature is not getting affected by that particular amount of air, so which is bypassing without making contact with the coils. Now what happens, finally they are mixed at the so it is not making contact, some of quantity of air it is bypassing and again mixing with that cooling air or some that heating air is bypassing and mixing together. Both the temperatures of airs are again mixing at the exit of the air which is passing through the passage. Now the amount of air which bypasses, so depends on the, so how much amount of air is bypassing depends on the some following factors here. One is the construction of coil, how the construction of the coil is taking place, and velocity of flow, how much uh, the flow velocity is taking place, how much velocity of air is passing over the heating coil. It is velocity is low or it is passing with very high velocity, then more amount of heat will be bypassed. If it is with less velocity, less amount of air is bypassing through that, and more contact is taking place with that. So this is measured in terms of bypass factor. That is a how how much amount of air is bypassing. So this can be measured by in terms of the bypass factor. So here you can see how this is arrangement for the bypass, for the explanation of bypass factor. You can see here, so air is inlet at one passage, air is getting outside. So it may be the heating coil or cooling coil you can take here. For example, if you are considering heating coil for a bypass factor, so some amount of air you can see it is bypassing here. It is not making contact with the coil, it is bypassing and mixing with the air which is coming outside after making contact with the heating coil. So both the airs are getting mixed and air is coming outside. So it can be represented on the psychrometric chart also. Okay, so we'll see here what we have to consider some temperatures here. The temperature of air passing over the heating coil is TD1. Surface temperature, as earlier discussed here, that of heating coil is TD3. Temperature of air leaving the coil is TD2. Okay, now as we know that TD2 value, and here the temperature of the air which is coming outside through the passage at the exit side is TD2, which is less than the TD3, right? Because that heating temperature of that coil, the heating coil is more compared with the air which is coming outside through the exit. That's why you are taking the consideration TD2 value is less than TD3. Now the bypass factor we can find by using these the temperatures what we know here, that is TD3 minus TD2 by TD3 minus TD1. So if you know these temperature recording TD1, TD2 to TD3, so by using this bypass factor formula, TD3 minus TD2 by TD3 minus TD1, if you find out these, so we can find out what is the bypass factor. So to know the efficiency of the coil, simply we can remove these loss. Consider this as a loss, like 1 minus 1 consider as 100%. So 100% like 1 minus this bypass factor BPF is known as the efficiency of the coil. Then you can get the efficiency of the coil. If for example if bypass factor is 0, nothing is bypassing over that, so bypass factor is 0, efficiency of the coil will be 100%. Similarly for cooling coil you can write that as somewhat it may be different, your the temperature recordings their notations given is different, that is TD2 minus TD3 by TD1 minus TD3. Why? Because low temperature is for that is a very low temperature is, that is a cooling coil temperature, that is TD3. So TD2 minus TD3 by TD1 minus TD3. You are subtracting the lowest value from the highest values. So remember for heating coil and cooling coil, so these are the bypass factor formulas. This is very important, you please try to remember. Next important thing is the sensible heat factor. Okay, so what is the sensible heat factor, we will see here. So simple heating of moisture can be done to any desired temperature, but simple cooling can be done up to a dew point temperature because of condensation. So hope you understood these points. Sensible heat factor means, for example, if you are going on the simple heating of the moisture, whatever the moisture is there, it means the dry air plus some water vapor content which is present in the air, that is moisture. So you can add the amount of heat, how much amount of heat you can add to that up to any particular desired temperature. But simple cooling can be done if cooling is taking place, so it can be done up to a dew point temperature only. What is the dew point temperature? Means where the starting of condensation will starts. So up to that point only the cooling has to be done here. Now so consider a change of state from 1 to 3, which involves the sensible heating 1 to 2 and latent heating, the change of its phase from 2 to 3. So process you are taking like 1 to 3. So from 1 to 2 process is sensible heating, just addition of temperature. Next 2 to 3 is the latent heating. It means the change of its phase to like a from vapor form, complete vapor form. You can see here 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. This is a sensible heat factor diagram. You can see on the psychrometric chart 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So addition of what happened, moisture content, there is a change in of its phase taking place. This 1 to 3 process, where from 1 to 2 process you can see the specific humidity values remains W1 equal to W2, where addition of moisture taking place, change of its specific humidity, that is a W3. And here you can observe the change in the dry bulb temperatures TD1 to TD2. During the process 2 to 3 you can observe there is no change in the dry bulb temperature. It will remain constant, TD2 equal to TD3. Why? Because change of its in latent heat is taking place here, so no addition of heat is there. So if you see in definition form, the ratio of sensible heat transfer, the ratio of sensible heat transfer to the total heat transfer. Sensible heat transfer is a 1 to 2 process and total heat transfer is a 1 to 3 process. So ratio of sensible heat transfer to the total heat transfer is termed as the sensible heat factor. So here you can note it down in terms of enthalpy. So what we have seen in the previous diagram, that is equal to H2 minus H1 by H3 minus H1. Okay, so that is the sensible heat factor. So in today's class we have discussed regarding the psychrometric processes. They are very important: sensible heating, sensible cooling, bypass factor, what is the sensible heat factor. So here we see following questions. Humidification processes. It's a very simple answer. You can, these are the few options given. Humidification process is addition of water vapor. So here this is the answer. Similarly, dehumidification processes. So here you can see the options. So from this, which is the correct answer? Dehumidification is the opposite of the humidification process, that is removal of water vapor is the answer. Next question. In sensible heating, dry bulb temperature increases, decreases, specific humidity increases, specific humidity decreases. So very useful question. You can answer it very simply. Sensible heating, as its term indicate, just increase of the temperature is taking place. So the answer is A, dry bulb temperature increases. Similarly, next question, sensible cooling. Again it will reflect on the dry bulb temperature. No change in the specific humidities take place. So dry bulb temperature is increases or decreases. Cooling process, it means dry bulb temperature get decreases. So option is B. This is the answer, dry bulb temperature decreases. Similar, next question, the process of heating of air without addition or subtraction of moisture is known as. So the process of heating of air, understood the question? Process of heating of air without addition of removal of moisture. So no addition of moisture, no subtraction, just simply heating of air. So that you know the answer, that is, so these are the options given. So the answer is sensible heating. And similarly, cooling of air without change in moisture content, only the cooling of air, that is the answer is, you know, that simply what is the given from the given options, the answer you can note it down, it is a sensible cooling process. Right, next I will move on to the frequently asked questions. So list out various psychrometric processes. So we have listed most of them, and basic fundamental process we have seen. So represent various psychrometric processes on psychrometric chart. So you can draw the chart what you have seen in the first presentation we have seen, how we have drawn the chart, and all the processes are mentioned on the psychrometric chart, taking one reference point as O, from O to A, O to B, O to C, D, and other 4 processes, combination of all these basic 4 psychrometric processes, right? Next, similarly, frequently asked questions like define sensible heating, sensible cooling, humidification, dehumidification. So these are the some asked definitions in the examinations. So what is the sensible heating? Just you can give in a statement or you can define that. Okay, so all these are very important and frequently asked questions. In continuation, they may ask from the given what we have discussed psychrometric process. So from that The other important question is, so explain the process sensible heating and sensible cooling with the suitable diagrams. So how the process I have explained by drawing the inlet air and exit air and cooling coil and heating coil diagrams. So you can explain along with the psychrometric chart also by representing the psychrometric process on the psychrometric chart. So you can explain this question. Explain the process sensible heating and sensible cooling with a suitable diagram. Next, similarly, so define the terms. So these are very important. They may ask at any time that bypass factor and the sensible heat factor, BPF and SHF. These are also very important. So please try to remember what is bypass factor and what is sensible heat factor. Okay, so hope you have got some information regarding is what are the psychrometric processes which are very useful in basic air conditioning procedure. And we have seen regarding just explain two processes elaborately, like sensible heating and sensible cooling, and also seen important topic like bypass factor and sensible heat factor. So those are very important in this psychrometry. So hope you have understood this today's video session, and we'll meet in the next video session with the we may see some psychrometric problems, or additionally we will see the continuation of these psychrometric processes also. So thank you for watching, and we'll meet in the next video session. So thank you very much.